Hey everybody, Yamez here with Alway Metal Forge. Today I am going to go over two other common anvil substitutes for the ultra beginner. I hate to keep reiterating this, but these videos are kind of a message to the ultra beginner. That will probably be the last time that I bring this up, unless I still see some comments saying, you know, oh, this, that, or the other thing. The typical, I hate to call them arguments, but, you know, the typical comments that would lead to discourage somebody from trying something. This isn't me telling people that this is the best way to do it. This is not me telling people, here's how you need to do it. This is me telling people, if this is what you have, you can do it. So, in this video, I am going to go over the sledgehammer head and the rail track plate, the rail plate. Another common, two very common things that you can either find at the scrapyard, pick up from a friend, various other ways to get these things. Now, my predictions is the sledgehammer head will work great because for its size and the tool steel, it has some pretty decent rebound, and this is literally just strapped to the wood. It's you know, I didn't drill a hole and countersink it. I didn't, you know, drill it down and run a bolt through to capture it in the eye. None of that. I literally just strapped it down through the eye. And the rebound on that, you know, for what it is fairly decent. Going to the plate, there is 0. Okay, now I am not doing any sort of padding underneath these anvil substitutes. I'm not doing any sort of superior mounting system. I'm not doing anything to try and deaden the ring. I'm literally showing it as it stands. From there, you can go and look into mounting options that are all over the internet. Putting a layer of silicone underneath this to help with the ring. Mounting this with lag bolts or using a stump and some actual rail spikes and hammering it down super tight. I just got some screws and washers just to hold it there. You know, but it gives you kind of a baseline to work with. Alright, so again, as with the previous video, I'm just going to take some rail spikes, taper the ends, and give them a bit of round. So let's see how they do. Alrighty, so as you can see, I had to retighten this thing down in the video. I really think a better option would be lag bolts, you know, and definitely some sort of a silicone underneath it. But even when it was tight, it, with no mass, it's really hard pressed to get metal to move efficiently. But it did move. If you're using some smaller stock, or using this in a combination with this, say this to like flatten or straighten something, and this as, you know, your main metal mover, because as you saw, this, you know, it kind of moved the metal pretty well. My only limitation was the size, and as I said in the previous video, I do prefer a larger working face. So this moved metal surprisingly well, and is a very valid option for the ultra beginner smith. This, if you have it, I recommend pairing it with something like this, because they do different things. Depending on how you mount it, this has little square, well, hardy holes that you can make some hardy tools for. You know, little hot cuts or what have you, bending forks, you know, all sorts of different things. And it has a large working area for, say, flattening things out or straightening things up. You could even use this as a striking anvil, if you need to. It is a bit thin for that, because it's a striking anvil. You're really putting some unga bunga on the metal. But all in all, I would say these two as a combination. And this is just a plate of steel. You could, if you have another plate of steel, you can drill some holes in it and do the same thing. It doesn't have to be rail track material. It doesn't have to be, you know, rail plate. But just to show you that that's what that is, that's what that does with it being a flat plate. I do recommend for the beginner smith a combination of something like that. And as I said in the previous video concerning a horn, you can do something like pieces of pipe, different size pieces of pipe in a vise to get that different radius rounds. You know, that's always an option. Always an option. There's always a way to do something. Well, I hope this all helped you guys out. I really hope this isn't causing all sorts of drama and arguments. These are all my opinions, not facts. I'm showing you guys my skill level and my opinions on this steel and on this in this situation. Really hope you guys are finding these helpful. I believe my next one is going to be the Harbor Freight anvil and a random chunk of steel, maybe even an I-beam. Maybe I'll do the Harbor Freight anvil and the I-beam next video. But that'll be next week. Thank you all for checking this out. Appreciate you guys. Hearts and health. And I'll say it again, Unga Bunga.